It is that time of the year yet again for the 2023 NBA playoffs is right around the corner right here. First, we gotta start with the play-in tournament, and then we go to the actual playoffs themselves. Let's show what these teams can actually do. This team was supposed to tank. They started out horrible, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander helped to revive the Thunder to reach to the play-in tournament to be ahead of Dallas in the standings, mainly with March and April. Unfortunately, the Pelicans will beat them. New Orleans started good in October and November with young talent. January and February was a big bump on the road, but managed to thrive back through the standings. They could have won the last game against the Timberwolves, but failed to get the 8th seed. Hope they get the revenge against Minnesota with the elimination game if they can. Trading for Rudy Gobert was a good thing on paper to get revenge to the Grizzlies, but December saw some decline but recovered on January. I just hope that Rudy Gobert doesn't punch Kyle Anderson again, just like what happened during the huddle from the last game. The 8th seed is basically on their hands, just to lose to the Nuggets in the first round. Here goes my team. I hear right now. This team suck at first, but the trade deadline, which includes getting D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley, would help to remove the cancer of Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley back into the playoffs. Even though LeBron didn't play nearly all of March from a foot injury, but he ain't done yet. I'm just happy that we are here, Laker Nation, getting ourselves back into the postseason. After winning the championship was a good thing at first. Injury may start to see some declines, but decided to give the division to Sacramento Kings. When healthy, they could beat Sacramento, but still lose to Memphis in the second round. Have fun with that, Warriors fans. John Wall joining the Clippers, thinking that they will win a championship if the team was healthy enough to do it. But unfortunately, Paul George is out at least for a few games. Adding in Russell Westbrook made them a little better. Just bitter that they're still here. The Suns are supposed to have a team with their core being sidelined for at least a game. All I know that last year's second round against the Mavericks was a nightmare from Game 7, but they need to compete even more. Trading for KD was a slam dunk, but he still needs to be healthy enough for this series. This is going to be a fun series with the Clippers, but get their ass whooped by the Nuggets if they reach the second round. The NBA decided to create some chaos. The Sacramento Kings are finally back in the playoffs after the longest drought in NBA history with 17 years. The core starts to emerge to be a legit threat, but I still think it's more of a fluke circumstance from a Lakers fan's perspective. The true challenge is to manage to beat the Warriors first, then beating Memphis in the second round. But I don't know if they can reach the finals yet. They're still young. championship is on a rise to them. Memphis is legit, but managed to slide through the season. Just tell John Morant to be responsible, to stay out of the streets to his own action, and not be a fucking idiot yet again. The Mile High gets the 1 seed. Jamal Murray recovering back from the ACL injury from last year made this team look good and legit. Jokic is still putting dominant performance and numbers to get to his 3rd MVP if he gets it. They still had some advantage against the Grizzlies if the core is healthy enough to beat them. The car pack is still here in Chicago. They look horrible in November and January. Losing Lonzo Ball due to injury won't give this man a break, but Patrick Beverley from free agency revived them so they can lose to Toronto in the play-in tournament. Raptors has some aspects going into this season, but December and January decided to smack them back to reality. Losing OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet was a big impact, but they can beat the Bulls and lose to the Hawks in the play-in tournament. The Atlanta Hawks are a mixed bag during the season. If they are relevant enough to be in the playoffs, Boban Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, John Collins, Dejounte Murray, and Trae Young won't be playing for this game against the Heat. Hope they can beat the Raptors in that play-in tournament for the 8th seed. Miami should be a true contender on paper, but started out the season horrible. Wanted them back to reality. Even though the Southeast Division is still horrible and weak, they should be able to beat the Hawks in the play-in tournament for the 7th seed, and it's going to be a final ride for Udonis Haslem. Ow! I thought this team was supposed to collapse after the trade deadline. The Kyrie Irving trade to Dallas made them look a little better to remove the cancer, but the KD trade hurt them a little bit. I don't know about winning a game against the annoying Sixers, but at least you're here. The Knicks are like a surprise team because the Easter weeks. Getting Jalen Brunson was a good thing from the offseason, but losing Julius Randle from injuries hurt their chances to go against Cleveland. I'm looking at you, Mr. 5 Points Vids. Waiting for Donovan Mitchell's look good for Cleveland, even when they remove Kevin Love for a complete playoff berth. The first time for Cleveland to clinch the playoffs without LeBron was in 1998 playoffs. That was very long ago. Here we go again. The annoying 76ers fans would never stop bitching and moaning about this team will ever win another championship. If they do reach the finals, it will be a nightmare unless Memphis or Denver will mollywop their asses, just like how the Phillies and the Eagles lost their time for their championships and World Series. God, I hate the Sixers. The revenge tour from last year's NBA Finals is within the Celtics. Failed to get the number 1 seed, but the core is still here. They look legit and competitive, and they want to get their 18th ring to make all Lakers fans more pissed than usual. The best part about them is literally just molly-whopping the shit out of the 76ers asses yet again. The Bucks regained the first seed first time in since 3 years ago. I don't know what they would be doing, but every single time the Milwaukee Bucks get the number 1 seed, they tend to fall apart and gag much harder than Emily Willis with 5 big Blackhawks in front of your corpse. Just watch. I could be wrong yet again. I'm looking at you, Tom Grassi. Even though I'm a lazy piece of shit on making these types of videos, but here's on my predictions. Last year was completely cursed, but this year is going to be even more cursed than usual. So the 7th seed will go to the Lakers and Heat, and the 8th seed will definitely go with the Timberwolves and the Hawks. Now let's get into the actual playoffs. So the first round for the Western Conference, the Nuggets in 5, the Grizzlies in 5, Golden State in 7, and Phoenix in 6. Even though that series might go up to game 7. For the Eastern Conference first round, Milwaukee in 4, Boston in 6, the annoying Sixers in 5, and the Knicks in 6. Just in case if Cleveland decided to implode. But I don't know, it can go either way. Now with the second round of the playoffs, we got the Nuggets in 6, the Grizzlies in 7, just in case if it's going against Golden State, and Milwaukee in 6. And this one's either way between the Celtics and the Sixers, but I would just be chaotic and pick the Sixers at 7, even though I hate them. Let's go to the conference finals, shall we? The Western Conference Finals between the Nuggets and the Grizzlies. This one is either way, but I'm picking the Grizzlies in 6. And for the Eastern Conference, I want to be super chaotic, even though I hate the Sixers, but I picked them in 6. And now, my finals predictions. Since last year was mega cursed, I have, drumroll please, Memphis Grizzlies against the Philadelphia 76ers. Memphis Grizzlies beat the Sixers and whooped our asses in game 6 over there in Philadelphia. So the Grizzlies will have their first ever NBA championships of franchise history against that annoying ass franchise known as the Sixers and their stupid fan base. Just watch when Philadelphia just melts down even more.